and welcome to Adventures in TV Land. For this video, I've come to Francis Field here at Washington University in St. Louis, Missouri. I've come here to check out the site of the 1904 Olympics. That's right, the Olympic Games were held here in St. Louis in 1904. Almost all of the events were held on what is now Francis Field. It was actually a field that was later leased to the university, and eventually the university acquired it. But the Olympic Games here in St. Louis, they were really big deal. They're kind of known for being somewhat chaotic, but they were originally supposed to have been in Chicago. They were moved here and held here because of the 1904 World's Fair that was in St. Louis as well, so they were in conjunction with each other. This was the first Olympic Games where a gold medal was given to the winner of each event. So we're just going to, for the short video, go check out the site of the 1904 Olympics. And this is who Francis Field is named after. And here is the press box. The third Olympiad, St. Louis, 1904. Site of the Olympic Games, St. Louis, 1904. Now, the most infamous event at the 1904 Olympics was the marathon. 32 runners would begin the race, but only 14 would finish. The race had only one water station along the entire course. It was ran in the streets, and the streets weren't blocked off, so the runners had to avoid pedestrians and cars and dogs. In fact, one runner ended up running an extra mile and a half because a dog had chased him. The competitor from Cuba ended up taking a nap after eating some rotten apples, and he still finished in fourth place. Now, the reason for all of this was because of a man named James Edward Sullivan. He was one of the main organizers of the 1904 Olympics, and he wanted to make the marathon a study in the effects of dehydration upon the human body. This man was the same person responsible for stripping Jim Thorpe of his medals in the Olympics a few years later. Although he was a huge promoter, he was actually very sadistic in many ways. The race started around 3 p.m., which is around the hottest time of the day, so temperatures were around 90 degrees. Roads were covered in dust, and there were other parts where they had to reroute actually at the end part of the race because there was an entire road that had been washed out earlier because of a flash flood. Now, the first person to arrive at the finish line was Frederick Lors. He was almost going to be crowned the winner when it reached the judges that he had cheated, and actually for most of the race he had ridden in a car and had gotten out, and he actually waved at spectators and other runners alike along the route and gotten out towards the end and re-entered the race. He received a 6-month ban from running as a result. Thomas Hicks was the person who eventually was crowned the winner of the race, but he almost died as a result. His trainers had given him a mixture along throughout the race, a mixture of strychnine, egg whites, and brandy to give him some energy as he ran along the race. So to sum it up, the marathon at the 1904 Summer Olympics here in St. Louis was one of the most bizarre and chaotic events in Olympic history. As I mentioned earlier, St. Louis was the first Olympics where gold medals were given to the first place finishers, and here is a little tribute to that. These Olympic rings were established here in Washington University in 2018, commemorating that St. Louis was one of only 3 U.S. cities to ever host the Olympics, the other 2 being Los Angeles, California, and Atlanta, Georgia.
If you've liked this video, hit the like button. If you disliked, hit the dislike button. Subscribe to my channel for further content and ring that bell for email notifications. And if there's some place that you would like to see me visit, leave a comment in the comment section. Until next time, that's a wrap.